Hello everyone, this is Diane. If you recall, I drew a slip of paper from my Stashistry collection of prompts and I drew out envelopes. So today we are going to work on some envelopes and just prep them for future journals. I don't have particular journals in mind. So I have an assortment of different envelopes here. And the first one I'm going to do, I watched a video from the Paper Outpost in the middle of the night because I was awakened by a thunderstorm. And so, of course, I, picked up my phone and looked at YouTube, and this video was recommended to me. So I watched it and I thought that's really cool. And it is a way to use washi tape. That was her video. Title was something about using up washi tape. And since I have quite a bit of washi tape and I'm trying to use more of it, I thought this would be perfect. And I need to do envelopes for Stashistry anyway. So I'm trying to open this envelope without tearing it. There we go. Some envelopes are easier than others, and I'm not using the heat gun. I'm just seeing what I can do with this tool here. Sometimes you can get in down here. It might not be sealed down here, so you can get a good start there. And I can see it got a little thin here, so I'm going to stop before my tool goes through. See if I can go from this end, and I can. So there. That side is done. I'll open up about 3, I think, envelopes. And I'll do more than just using the washi tape on them. I have some other things out that I can use. I don't think I want to use the green because we're going to completely cover it, except for the inside. That one I already opened. Okay. So I'll move these things out of my way, and I'll put my paper here for gluing. I'll start with the small one, and I think I'll make this with Shabby Chic colors. All right, so the Shabby Chic washi tapes are on top of my shelf above my head, but it's in that drawer that tips downward so I can see them, but you won't be seeing them. I'm just going to leave them up there. Well, until I use them, and then I'll put them out down here. All right, so I'm going to start by, as Pam did from the Paper Outpost, I'm going to start by applying some glue. Not to the whole envelope because it'll dry before I get there, but I am applying glue. You know, we glue our washi tape because it is low tack. It doesn't stick for long. But in this case, I can just glue the envelope. This one is Pink Cherries with a Bow. And I will trim this all up better once I have the envelope covered. I want to work fairly quickly because I have glue applied. These tapes are from a large set that I bought at Hobby Lobby a few months ago. And I'll use blue along with the pink. And I have a few purples. I could add a purple here or there. Let's stick a purple in here. It's pretty lace. think I can add one more before I have to start adding more glue. This one has bows on it. And I don't really know what direction these are going to end up going, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I have to find the end. Goes pretty quick. And now I will apply some more glue. Here's a wide one. Goes a lot faster if you use some wide ones. It's not super wide. Oh, I tore that one. I'll put that on once we get to a skinnier part, if I do. If there is a skinnier part. Nope, we're not fussing with that one. I don't think that's part of this collection. Let's put blue gingham in here. And a purple lacy design. Oh, it's got butterflies. Butterfly lace. And we're back to pink. I'm going to go back to the pink cherries. I like that one. And then I'll have to add more glue. I've got some pink gingham. I want to use one to finish it up, so it needs to be wide enough. I guess I'll do the bows. Now, of course, we have to trim it. Trim out those little notches. This video of Pam's was 4 or 5 months old, I believe, and I will link it. I don't watch a lot of Pam's videos. She's very talented and she's funny to listen to, but she has birds, caged birds, and they shriek and they hurt my ears. So I don't, but this time, I don't know. There were no birds, no bird sounds. So I don't know if she was doing it late at night after the birds had their cover on their cage or what, but no birds. I have learned that I am, I forgot what the term is, but a sensitive person, which means I'm sensitive to tactile stimuli. I love the way soft things feel and rough things, like any little bit of a tag or wool. Lots of things on clothing will really bother me. And I'm sensitive to sound and taste and smell. I have a very sensitive nose. And there is such a thing. A friend of mine let me read a book that she had about that's what it is, highly sensitive person, HSP. So anyway, the birds bother me. So now we have the folds where the envelope was folded. We just have to fold it all together. I'm not going to glue it because I might want to sew this into a signature in the middle of the signature. And then I can glue it after I sew it in. Isn't that pretty? You can see it. You can see the washi tape being added. Then you cut it to the shape, and when you fold it, it just looks so pretty. I love it. Thank you, Pam, for this wonderful idea. I love it. Now, I wanted to do one extra thing. She just made the envelopes. She didn't make anything to go in them, but while I was watching it, I thought, well, I've got a lot of index cards too. That one's just a little short, but I'm going to put it in there. I can add a tab to it. And I'm going to I'm not going to cover it with washi, but I thought maybe I could decorate it with washi. So I'll take some of these and just add a little bit of washi tape to decorate my index cards. And this one I will just add the glue to the tape. We'll do one more washi envelope. I want it done in a completely different style. And then I'll try something else. Nothing major. I'm not doing anything super involved. I like to keep things rather simple. It is muggy. I can feel it down here. I can't turn my fan on while I'm making a video. We had a thunderstorm in the night. That's what woke me up. And we're supposed to have rain again starting soon, and then probably off and on throughout the day. We've had a lot of thunderstorms this summer. See how pretty that looks peeking out? And then I'll just make a little tab to go on there. Let's do one more envelope. I'll do a bigger one. And I'm gonna just set these aside. And I want to use something a little more neutral, grungy. I have these tapes and these black and white. And that's enough. I probably have more in my tip down drawers, but this is probably enough. start with, some of these are really wide. I'm going to start with this one. And I will leave the link for these below too, because I bought these from an Etsy seller after I got the Amity Bloom ones. These were, I guess they were recommended, or I don't know if I searched for washi because I was on a washi roll. You know, literally a roll of washi. But anyway, I found them on Etsy, and this person, I forgot who it is, but this collection was like overstock or stuff that she's combined it into a good price for all of these. I think there were 12 tapes. And they included this, which is beautiful, but doesn't really seem to go with the set. But it is so pretty. Let me open it up for you. And she still has more. So I will link this collection. Whoops. It's just pretty flowers. If the collection is gone at this point, I will link her shop because she does have other washis in her shop, along with other things. I think she sells digitals. I'm going to put this on. This looks like newspaper advertising, black and white. Should I use one of, look at how wide this one is. That is very big. I don't know if I want to put it on the envelope. It is 2.5 inches. This one is pretty wide. 1.5. I think I'll use this one. Got to put more glue on. I think. I could just make a whole bunch of these. And maybe I will, off camera, once we finish our projects today. Okay, this one kind of looks like ledger papers, I think. Yeah, ledgers and bill heads, all that cool stuff. And this one is a map. I love the map. I'm not using the Amity Bloom tapes for these envelopes. I could use them to decorate an envelope, but not like completely cover it. I just don't want to use up that much. And I could use them to decorate the index cards. This one has circles with numbers. Do another black and white. This is typography. It's kind of wide. too much. There we go. You'll never know. Let's do some repeats. Black and white one. Looks like diagrams and handwriting. It's pretty cool. And let me see what I have in my drawer up here. Oh, I've got this Tim Holtz one. That's a cool one with the subway names, I think, like destinations, Times Square, Coney Island, Metropolitan Avenue. If I can find the end of it, I'm not going to fuss with it. That's one thing that Pam refused to do. She gave each tape a couple of tries, and if they didn't cooperate, she banished them until she puts them in the microwave to loosen the glue if they're stuck or tearing. I've never done that, but I think you could do the same thing with the heat gun, which I never thought to do when I was struggling with my washi tape. Oh, that tore. Well, that tape is going to be banished for now. Let's see, what else do I have? I have some film. I've had this for ages. Well, it tore, but I think it's long enough. Yes. This is not quite at the angle that I wanted it to be. I started it off wrong, or I went wrong somewhere along the way, because it tapers off to nothing here, but there's still space here to be filled. But that's okay. Bothers me not. And I've got, I don't want to just keep them black and white. Let me see. I'll put this one in. I love this one. I've had this for a long time. I don't know what it came with. Okay. That envelope is covered. I'm going to wipe it with this is a dry baby wipe. It's not dirty. I'll just wipe it because it's got some glue on the outside. And that presses everything down real good. And I'll trim, so I'll edit this part out. Okay, I have it all trimmed. Looks very pretty, but wait till you see it folded. I haven't seen it folded yet, but I know it's gonna be really cool. Should it go like that or like that? I think it goes like that. Oh, look at that. Amazing. I love it. And I'll need a bigger card to put in there to decorate. So I'll do that another time. All right, so now I'll move the washi tapes out of the way. I could embellish these with some images, but I don't think I want to do that yet. I just want to wait until I use them in a project, and then maybe I would, but I like them just the way they are. I could put a little label on it or something, but don't know if I will. So let's move on. I have this pretty green one and a little blue one. Let's see what we can do with some colored envelopes. I'm not even going to open them. I think these could just be tucked into a pocket. This one could, at least. Let me see if I can open this pretty easily. Okay, in case you didn't know, this is a bone folder. I have quite a few. They're not really bone, they're wood, or plastic, I mean. One of them might be a real bone, but I would not use this one because it's thick and it would tear. This one is thin. This one, oh, this is the one I would, if I'd seen it there. That came with my Martha Stewart scoring board, because that's a nice thin one. So something thin. I even tried this. The point is nice to help you get into it, but this is a nice thin, like a popsicle stick thing. But that's what I was using, just something thin. Oh, and I'm not going to open that one up. So what I have here are some digitals, because I have so many different digital ephemera pieces. Let's try putting some of these toys on this little one. These are toy price stickers. These are just collage elements, digitals. This batch has little girls, but it also has some pretty botanicals. I'll just glue these down like this. I see another flower I might use instead because the colors are better. That's cute, and I could just tuck that into a pocket. This is a vintage card, index card. And a pretty little card to tuck in. Let me grab a tab for that. I'd rather have something that doesn't stick up so high, I think. Let me see how this goes in there. Oh, that's not too tall. All right, I'll just get a different color. Well, I'll just get a different shade of blue, I guess. It would be handy to have not only the envelopes decorated, but the card to go in them all set to go when I'm in the middle of making a journal. Okay, what do I do with the green ones? Here they are. So this would be sewn in like this. So I want to put something on that's facing that way. Which is probably too big. They're just the really tall ones or the really small ones. I've got vertical, now I want something horizontal. I think I'd like to add some numbers. Okay, we're going to go with this. I will glue all these down and I'll be right back. I am back and I ended up doing 8 envelopes today. I decorated 8 envelopes and I put cards in each one. So of course we have the washi tape ones that we started out with. So you saw those all finished with the cards. Oh, I did add the card after, in this one, after I shut the camera off. So I picked out this vintage recipe card holder, and I used that 2.5-inch wide neutral washi tape for that end to decorate that. I had to trim a tiny bit off so that the tab would fit, and after I sew this into a journal, I might have to take a tiny bit more off because the thread will take up some space and a little knot in there. And then we did these collaged ones. This one will just go into a pocket, and I put that pretty flower on it. And these can get sewn in to the signature, and I made these cards to go in, stamped the lines on it front and back, and added another little doll figure for that collage. These dolls are from an Etsy store called J. Lee Low. And then I pulled these little adorable patchwork critters, and I had the name right here with them. Not sure where that went, the name of the Etsy store. Oh, here it is. Paper Prints Pro. And then I took an envelope, opened it up, and I sewed, while it was open, I sewed a piece of fabric to it, and then it was kind of loose in the middle, so I just looped around to sew the whole thing down like that. Not that you see much of it, you can see some if you look close. And then I glued the teddy bear down to this one. This is a vintage envelope. You can see from where the glue discolored the page. And then I took a piece of cardstock, cut it the right size, added some gingham washi tape, and another little image. So that can go in there. These are all to be sewn into the journal, whatever journal they go in. Here's this one. So this was a long, narrower one, so I had a hard time finding, well, I didn't have a hard time, but I had to be more choosy about the critter that would go on it. I had to trim off just a tiny bit of his ear, and then I put a fish on the card, and just a tiny bit got trimmed off down here. Aren't they so cute? And I'm just going to glue this little bird on here. This is the fabric. It is a plissé fabric. I have to Google what is the difference between plissé and seersucker. I think that's plissé, but maybe it is seersucker. I don't know. Maybe they're the same. Maybe there's no difference. But they're kind of a puckery fabric. And I just love the colors of this one. And this is the card that goes in the envelope. So that is 8 envelopes done today. Thank you so much for coming along and joining me today. And I know there are many, many things you can do with envelopes, but these are some pretty simple things you can do. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye.